Good morning, John Fugelsang.
All the theme songs you have for me, and you have to play the one that has Friday in it. All right, go ahead.
Well, that's what's on the button here.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Shane is not here in studio with us this week, so he can't do that for us.
Yeah.
How you doing, John?
I'm great. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us a day early. We've got Carl Frisch is going to be in studio with us tomorrow morning for all 3 hours, so I wanted to give him as much time as possible.
So, of course. I want to compete with Carl Frisch, that Mike whore.
I know. Sir, you wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
Yeah.
I know how it is. You guys know.
Well, speaking of not getting a word in edgewise, we have a little bit of breaking news. Meghan McCain has announced her departure from The View.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. So giving the people what they want. That's great. It's amazing. Like the conservative, the token conservative seat on The View really is the Spinal Tap drummer of
It is.
Isn't it? Like the New Jersey governor. It's just you're doomed in this job. It's not going to turn out well if you take this gig.
Well, it didn't even used to be the GOP seat, because remember, originally it was Debbie Matenopoulos.
Right. Yeah.
And then it went to Lisa Ling.
Uh-huh.
And then
and that was the end of it.
Then it became the Republican seat, where it was the girl from Survivor.
It was always the young seat.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was Debbie Matenopoulos and Lisa Ling.
Which is weird that the young seat would be the Republican seat, too, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well,
there's the Fox News law that young blondes lying to you will get ratings.
Yeah.
That's true. So maybe Kayleigh McEnany will be.
No.
I would love to see Kayleigh McEnany dealing with Meghan McCain's hair people.
Or Joy Behar.
Wow. Well, okay. I hate to say it, but if that's the case, I might not watch The View every day. If Kayleigh McEnany does the show, I might not watch The View every day.
I am shocked by this news, John. How will you get by without it?
Listen, I love Joy. Joy's been good to me. If it's on, I'll watch it because of Joy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that The View has a really good purpose in terms of just like, you used to see debates in TV all the time. I mean, that big Rosie O'Donnell fight, like, those things used to happen on the Mike Douglas show. You'd actually see real debates, and I'm glad
Dick Cavett. Dick Cavett, especially.
Well, I mean, Cavett and let's go. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard. And this is the problem we have in booking. I know you guys don't book a lot of conservative guests, but we try to. Let me tell you something. It has been so hard to get intelligent pro-Trump guests. Yeah. Like, really hard.
Right.
Well, it doesn't happen. This is the problem. It's always hard. Bill Maher had trouble for years on ABC getting one good conservative every night.
Right.
But like, man, we can get good conservatives all the time. We have lots of Republicans on our show, but finding somebody who really supports Trump, who's not
on issues, not on insults.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
No, I get it.
Thoughts and prayers, View. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
And they can't have a coherent debate with you because nothing they say is backed up by a fact or reality, and they operate in a right-wing world where they have alternative facts, as Kellyanne Conway would say.
But you know what? Let's give Meghan McCain props for surviving something that she probably never thought she'd have to endure. Working 5 days a week. I know that had to be hard, Meg. I know there's no way your mom could have prepared you. There's no way your mom could have been prepared for this. So well done on actually sort of working 5 days a week, sitting down the whole time and never leaving the house. I know how taxing it must have been.
I'm just hoping they do an in memoriam that features all of her hairstyles that we will never, ever see. Have you seen those pictures of her? Her hair people must hate her. Have you seen those pictures?
They don't hate her as much as Donald Trump's makeup people hate him. Meghan, you don't know which way she's going to go, because I don't know if you know this, but her dad was John McCain. Has she ever mentioned that?
I don't think she's ever mentioned that.
Who's that?
At this point, being a maverick means not lying. That's what being a maverick means on the GOP side. And she's really stuck in a tough place because on the one hand, she despises Trump. On the other hand, she despises truth and honesty. So she's in a really rough spot. And her husband, of course, I think he speaks German, and it's going to be interesting watching Meghan age and seeing what way she decides to go. Will she be a Nicole Wallace Republican, or will she be what she appears to be turning into? So, thoughts and prayers, Meghan McCain.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the good times. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that.
It's weird. I feel like she kind of like she leaned into this more because I remember a few years ago, before she was on The View, she was actually like a sensible person. She was one of those people on the right that you would actually want to have on your show as a guest.
Like her mom at times. Yeah.
Right.
But again, only against Trump, right? Like these are the people who are still wrong about just about everything.
Yeah.
They're just, now Republicans are still wrong about everything, but they're not evil and craven.
Right.
And that's the difference. This is the illiterati. They're meaner, dumber, louder, and more racist. That's the illiterati. And I mean, they're not Republican anymore.
No.
We've been asking our listeners all week on the show every night on Progress, what does conservatism mean in 2021? It doesn't mean family values.
No.
Sure doesn't mean Christianity.
No.
I challenge everyone. Ask a conservative. Name one teaching of Jesus your party fights for legislatively. They'll lie and say abortion. Jesus never mentioned it. He was against the death penalty. I'll say it doesn't mean fiscal responsibility, right? It doesn't mean family values. What does being a conservative mean? It doesn't mean small government.
Nope.
So what is it in 2021? It means owning the libs. It means blind obedience to a reality show clown.
Yes.
And it means what else you got? I mean, it means I don't even know anymore. It certainly seems to mean that this tribal loyalty.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
And it means selfishness. That's the one thing. It's selfishness as a virtue, and that's why it's going to be so exciting watching all these Trump folks turn against each other.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw with the vote yesterday on the House Select Committee.
Well, we have a little bit of breaking news on that too. Liz Cheney has just officially been named to the January 6th Select Committee by Speaker Pelosi.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's what actually I was going to mention. Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, who policy-wise, I don't agree with them. I don't think pretty much on anything, but
he's just wrong. God bless him. He's just wrong about everything, but he's not, craven.
But he has some principles, I guess, is what we're left with as far as Republican principles, which, with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, what are those principles now? Like, voting to keep statues of white supremacist traitors up in our Capitol.
You mean
those
Democrats?
Are the values.
You mean the Democrats?
Yeah.
Oh, the Democrats, yeah, but try and take down those statues of Democrats. Don't you touch my Democrats! Leave my racist. The only Democrats they like are the racist ones.
It's funny.
And proof of that? Robert Byrd. Yeah. Because the only white supremacist they hate is the one who stopped being a white supremacist.
Right.
Robert Byrd, literally honored in death by the NAACP.
That's
and
right.
that's who they can't stand.
That's
They
right.
hate the racist who renounced racism and embraced civil rights.
Yep.
So he's a race traitor on top of it. Try and get them to listen. This is the party that's more offended by Kaepernick's knee than Chauvin's. This is the way they're going, and this is why high turnout is the only thing that's going to save us all. But watch Bill Barr turning against Donald Trump. This little mean girl act of Trump's little memos, my God, it's going to continue as more of these people turn against him. Well, and when they start running for president and have to be asked directly about things Trump did, just watch for Trump to start, turning against them all, including Jared too. I mean, that's going to be the best part, because this whole culture of republicanism has been about selfishness for over 50 years. That's the virtue. It's the me party.
Yeah.
Happy clappy liberals are the we. Let's help people we don't even know. And they'll say, no, that's weakness. Ironically, the atheists are more Christian than the loudest Christians in our country.
Well, we were talking about with Dr. Redler in the last segment. It's empathy seems to be a quality that you only see on the Democratic side of the aisle.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah, not all Democrats. Well, absolutely, empathy is weakness to others.
Yeah, but not all Democrats.
Not all Democrats. Yeah. Kristen Sinema.
Well,
listen, I want to understand what's going on there. I don't know who's funding her, but I mean, this is someone I remember, with a megaphone at anti-Bush rallies.
Yeah. When
I had her on. I had her on Current. I interviewed her on Current when she was a congresswoman.
When I lived in Tempe, Arizona, she was my state representative, to the state capitol.
Yeah.
She ran on the Green Party.
Yeah.
Back then. Yeah. So I have no idea what
Follow the money,
happened
man.
to her.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money. A lot of insurance company money there, but it's just really kind of sad. And I thought, okay, well, maybe Biden can bribe them, right? Like he gave Manchin's wife a gig on the Appalachian Resource Council. No. Try to bargain. Biden tried to have the Jimmy Stewart talking filibuster come back.
Yeah.
They said no.
Yeah.
I think the only solution now is we have to take a page out of the Republican playbook and think about Benghazi committees and repeal Obamacare votes. I think they should start putting voting rights up as a bill for a vote every week.
Yep.
Every week. Get rid of the filibuster, put up Manchin and Sinema, show the world and the party and their constituents who they're siding with when those vote tallies come in. I mean it. Have 50 votes for the John Lewis Voting Rights Act in the Senate and see what happens.
I'm totally with you on that, and make them vote no. Make them do that filibuster. Don't just say like, oh, like hands in the air, they're going to filibuster, so we're not even going to bother with it. No, make them vote on not even talking about it, not even willing to have a debate on it, because they don't have a leg to stand on once you start having that debate, right?
Yes, and as someone born Catholic, I can tell you about the real powerful force of shame. It can do a lot, really. It can accomplish a lot.
Yeah,
it can.
Before we get, we've been talking about this. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Bill Cosby getting out of jail early. What are your thoughts on that whole situation? Because I love the fact that Castor is mixed up in this, the guy who's Trump's impeachment lawyer.
Yeah, Castor's either a really bad lawyer or a really great lawyer. You know, I mean, and again, before you get all upset at Bill Cosby getting away with atrocities, remember, Donald Rumsfeld did not die in prison. Okay,
right?
So and we've Donald Rumsfeld not dying in prison is a worse miscarriage of justice in the eyes of some. 1 million dead people, 1 million dead people, 4,486 dead soldiers because of his lies and the torture. As far as Cosby, I was as shocked as the rest of you, until I actually read the circumstances. And I don't really know how they could have kept him in jail because of this. I mean, he's credibly accused by 60 women of sexual assault. 19 were willing to testify. 5 did testify. It was the same MO for all of them. The youngest who testified was 17. They all said, yeah, drugged and raped us, drugged and raped us. He's now free on this procedural issue that is irrelevant to the facts of the crime, because he admitted under oath he drugged and raped women. Remember when Cosby, in the deposition, admitted to getting Quaaludes to give to women for sex? And wherever you stood on this issue, back then, we all had the same response. Oh my God, Bill Cosby still knows how to get Quaaludes. Remember, we couldn't believe it.
We didn't know the Quaaludes were available still.
I had no idea. I wasn't around for the Quaaludes.
I wasn't either.
I missed out that
I thought they stopped making them in the 80s.
But when you look at the actual deal, it violated his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. I mean, they gave a deal where if you give this testimony, you can't have it used against you. He gave the testimony, and then another prosecutor tried to use it against him. So I don't know why he did 2 years in jail for that, why it wasn't thrown out sooner. But at the end of the day, it's awful. I think Pennsylvania has to prosecute him a third time.
They can't. I think that's the problem now, is that because of the release agreement, they said that he can't be prosecuted for any of these crimes because it's tainted at this point.
He can't be prosecuted for anything that he talked about in the deposition when he admitted doing it. But go ahead and prosecute him without that information. The word's gotten around. A jury pool just might know. And so I think they have to do it anyway, because otherwise he walks. Look, we've talked about it. He's the greatest comedian I've ever seen live. I've seen Pryor, I've seen Carlin, I've seen Mort Saul. There's no one as good.
No, there's no doubt about that.
And you can be a great artist and be a monster at the same time. So,
we've seen that over and over again in Hollywood and other places.
Yeah. So, I want to see it happen. I'm glad he did 2 years for it. By the way, miraculously, guys, he's not blind anymore. Isn't that incredible?
And he can walk.
I mean, bail cures blindness.
Yeah.
But we're looking at this irony here. Like, the irony of this whole awful, awful situation is that Bill Cosby is literally getting out of jail because he admitted his crimes.
Literally.
That's America.
Yep, he confessed, and that's not something that would happen to the average person. I would be willing to bet they wouldn't have the lawyers, they wouldn't have the people out there fighting for them like he did.
And I think more and more, this is not a race thing with Bill Cosby. He went after women of both white and African American, but I think there comes a point where celebrity becomes its own ethnic group. I think that's Ellen and George W. Bush sitting together watching a ball game, even though Bush ran for re-election by demonizing gay marriage. I think that's why Kanye West has more in common with Donald Trump than he has with anyone who still lives in Chicago.
Well, I think it also beyond celebrity, it also has more to do with money and privilege that comes with having
Sure. I mean, I think that's folded into the celebrity, but so it's really, really sad. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to get bumped from a club spot now because of him. Finally, the clubs are open. I just know they're going to, hey, listen, we need you to wait 10 minutes. Cosby's here, and he's going to do 4 hours. So,
standing up and looking to everybody in the audience and speaking perfectly.
But again, on the bright side, Donald Rumsfeld finally gets to shake hands with both Saddam Hussein and Nixon again. So
yes, he does. So there you go.
Is it hot where they're shaking hands?
I mean, do we even need to do a commercial for the Steph store? I mean, the shirts are flying off the right. Look at this. Look at it. Get your face
Look at that.
Get your face up there. Look. We have them for Team Pfizer, Team J&J. We are all Team Vaccine here. We have amazing.
That's right.
And you can get it on everything. Right, Chris? Not just shirts.
Bath mats, shower curtains. You can get it on art, a clock. You can get
Duvet.
a safety bomb on a clock.
We have Stephanie Miller swag. We have sexy liberal swag. And, of course, all the vaccine shirts. Get it now. StephanieMiller.com. Whee!